So let's start to continue on, and now we are working on part 3 of the linear gauge chart. And what I want to do now, we have this line here, but this is exactly in the center. I don't want it in the center here, or especially not like this. So we're going to scroll down here and let's change the positioning on this. So what I want to do here is let's move this instead of 0, we'll make this 0, and we can say here 100. And then you can see here we are now getting a few items. Alright, it's somehow not visible here. Let's do it like this, plus 10. Alright, as you can see here now it starts to work, but we need to push this more, and let's remove the bleed over effect. So let's do that first. Go to ctx.begin path, and the reason why I do this is because we have this bleed over effect. What happens is basically it grabs the color because it doesn't indicate that this shape is a unique shape. So it assumes it's somehow connected with something else, and this is why we have the color transitioning from one part to another shape, which is an unwanted effect. So we're going to say here, we create a new shape independent of any other shape. Please don't send that color to any other shape as well. So if I save this, refresh, you can see here this works, and you can see here now the line is here, but let's move this down. Let's see what I want to do now is, because we have here, we can do it for example 50, so it's 50 pixels, but we have here this, refresh, it moves here, but let's move that a bit more to the right. So what I'm going to do is we have the bar thickness here. I guess what we can do here is the bar thickness. Say plus that, refresh. Now we get this, but this is the exact thickness from left to right. And what I really need is, we have the center. So that will mean from this center, and let me just remove the tooltip. Scroll down, go into tooltips, comma, tooltip, and then I'm going to say here, enabled, set this on false. Save, refresh, there we are. So what I want to do is I want to move that more to the right. So how can we do this? Well, the thickness here is probably too much. So, or our starting point would even be, our starting point is somehow as well wrong. What we could do here, and then plus 10, it will start there, but you can see here our starting point here needs to move. The reason why is we need to divide this by 2, because the bar thickness is from left to right, but we're in the starting center. So if I divide this by 2, we get here now the right position. So that looks quite nice. So of course, what we could do more is adding up text as well. So how do we add up text? I'm going to say ctx.font equals, and then we're going to say here, maybe bold 12 pixels, and then the font family will be sans serif. Why? Because the font family of sans serif is the default font of chart.js. So I'm going to grab that one. The next thing what I want to do here then is just to put in some text, ctx. Or fill style for the color. I want to change the color, and the color will be here maybe gray or something like that. Then what I want to do is I want to say here, well, maybe not gray but dark gray, just to force it to make nice dark color. Then what I will say here, fill text, to put in the text here. And here we will have first a text, then we have here a x value, and then the y value, or the positioning of that. So this one here of course requires a bit of adjustments, because we want to make sure we are within this area here. So let's put this in here with the bar thickness, and then maybe even plus 10. And then what I want to do here is add the 50 here, for example. So now we have the text here, and how will we be able to push it a bit more down and give it a proper position? Well, what we can do here, this is dark gray, or maybe I just do gray. Let's save that. That's more visible and more better. So now what I want to do here is I want to say ctx, and then I'm going to say here text baseline. And what I want to do is I want to put this, because you can see here we're not really in the center, or not even what I mean by center here, more down. We want to push it a bit more down, which is on the baseline, the middle. So if I do this, put in middle, we're going down a bit more. And then here we could even do a text alignment of center to push the text a bit more to the center. Text align, you can say, oh, make sure that this is center, save, and then it will probably push this more to the right side, or even left side. Alright, that's interesting. So if that is the case, I need to move, it's not 10 pixels as we did here, but a bit more. So let's say 20 pixels. And then maybe we do 25, giving it 15 pixels of padding. There we are. So that looks quite nice. But of course, this is not what I want. What I want is I want to have certain values. Let's say a high, a mid, low, and a current value. So what I'm going to do here, put a comma. We're going to say here a high value. And we're allowed to do this. And the reason why we're allowed to do this is because we're working here with JavaScript and an object. So let's say here this is 99. And I'm going to say here a mid value will be 66. And a low value will be number 3. Then what I want to do is we have a current measuring value. So the current value is 33. Let's make it like that. Let's save this for now. And in the next video, I'm going to start working on that and applying those on our temperature bar.